A portrait is a picture of someone, but a self-portrait is a picture of you. So we're going to work really hard this week to try to put some simple features on a face so that it resembles us. Our self-portraits this week are inspired by a couple of different artists. First, an author and illustrator named Peter H. Reynolds. He wrote this really phenomenal book called Say Something, which we are going to read in just a minute to get some inspiration. And a really cool artist named Andrea Pippin. She's super fabulous. Andrea Pippin is originally from Maryland, which is the same state that we all live in. How cool is that? Now, she doesn't live here anymore. Now she lives in Stockholm, which is pretty far away, but her artwork is still really important and awesome for us to check out. Andrea Pippin discovered that the art world wasn't very diverse for people of color, so she set out to change that. She decided that all of her artwork that she made would represent a more diverse and broader community so that it would be inclusive and exciting for all. Her artwork has a signature style with lots of pops of color, simple lines, and beautifully graphic images. Wow. She always makes sure to include people of color in her artwork because that is what is most important to her. She likes to call herself a visual activist. So she's not just making pretty artwork, she's making artwork that has a message or something to say. Sometimes it actually does say something with talk bubbles and the people talking in her images. She has a coloring book called I Love My Hair, and it is so beautiful. You can check it out and color in some of her great images. She also illustrated a book called Young, Gifted, and Black, which is a really beautiful book. And in it, we get to meet 52 different inspirational Black heroes. It is gorgeous. There are many amazing people in it that get featured, like Barack and Michelle Obama, Maya Angelou, Beyonce, Nina Simone, Toni Morrison, and Simone Biles, along with so many other incredible individuals. So if you can, check it out. So this week we're going to be inspired by the amazing artwork of Andrea Pippin and her gorgeous, bright, and vibrant portraits in order to make our very own portraits ourselves. Now, as you can see, her portraits are simple. They're not super detailed, but they have just enough detail that they get to look like the people they're supposed to be. So our artwork today won't look exactly like us, but as long as it's close, that's what we're going for. We're going to use simple lines and simple shapes, and then whatever colors we want to enhance and make our artwork really pop, so that we can create portraits that are bright and graphic and bold and also feature talk bubbles that let people know what we're thinking as well. To make this artwork this week, you need one piece of white paper, one piece of colorful paper from your construction paper pack, any color you want, you decide. You need some coloring supplies, so markers or colored pencils or crayons or even paint if you want to this week. You need a pencil and a permanent marker. A permanent marker is the most important because if you use paint, you don't want it to bleed. Or you can use a black crayon if you have that as well. We also need some scissors to cut out our information and put it on our background, and glue to attach it all together. So, grab by the book Say Something by Peter H. Reynolds. So before we get started, I thought we should take a second and read it. So stay tuned and we're going to check out that book. While you listen to the book, see what all of these characters are saying, what's important, what's coming out of their mouths, and how are they going to make the world a better place with the words that they are saying.
The story is titled Say Something. Peter H. Reynolds. I hope that you enjoy this beautiful story. The world needs to hear your voice. Mine? Yes, yours. Go ahead. It doesn't need to be perfect as long as it's from your heart. You don't have to be loud. Powerful words can be a whisper. You can say something in so many ways, with words, with action, with creativity. If you see someone lonely, say something by just being there for them. If you see an empty canvas, say something with your brush. If you see an empty lot, say something by planting a seed and watching it bloom. If you see someone being hurt, say something by being brave. Hey, stop. If you see something beautiful, say something with a poem. If you have a brilliant idea, say something with confidence. Eureka! If you want to show the world who you are, say something with style. Ta-da! If you are angry, say something to help people understand. You make me feel invincible. That really hurt. I'm really sorry. If you see an injustice, say something peacefully. Inspire others to do the same. Sometimes you'll say something and no one will be listening, but keep saying what is in your heart, and you will find someone who listens. Keep saying it, and you may be surprised to find the whole world listening. If you are grateful for being alive quietly, say something to the stars, to the universe. Some people find it easier to say something than others, but everyone has something to say. So, when you're ready, say something. Your voice can inspire, heal, and transform. Your voice can change the world. Are you ready to say something?
Remember, don't be afraid to say something. Your voice is powerful. So, grab the art supplies that you need: white paper, color paper, scissors, glue, permanent marker, and your coloring supplies. Grab those things, meet me back here, and we'll make our really cool self-portraits that say something.
Now that you've had a chance to learn and read from Peter Reynolds in his book, Say Something, we are going to figure out what we have to say. Each of you has a voice, and it's very important. So the first thing we're going to do in our drawing is make some talk bubbles and write down what we have to say. So I'm going to make 2 drawings on one paper, one side with talk bubbles and one side with my self-portrait. So the first thing I'm going to do, friends, is divide my paper in half, so that I know where everything should go. Now, if it's not perfectly even, that's okay. If it's not perfectly straight, that's okay too. Now, I'm gonna start on one side of my paper and make some talk bubbles. I'm gonna try to make about 6 or 7. To make a talk bubble, all you do is you draw a oval or a shape, and then right before you connect them together, put a little carrot curve. And these can be all different shapes and sizes. This one is a square with rounded edges, and then I'm gonna put the little carrot. You can make ones that look like thought bubbles by making them bumpy like a cloud. Very cool. And as big or as little as you would like. So make a few talk bubbles. If you forget to put a carrot on the end, whoops, that's okay. Add it on, that's totally fine. So make as many talk bubbles as you can fit. It looks like I'm able to fit 6. Great. There's my talk bubbles, friends. Now, I would like you to fill your talk bubbles with anything that you would like to say. You could use inspiration from Mr. Peter Reynolds to write as many things as you can think about. Remember, you can say things like, wear a mask, be brave, be kind. You can remind people that they are loved. You could tell people to change the world, or even save the planet. It's up to you. So write whatever words are important to you. What am I gonna write? Great. Now my talk bubbles are complete. I filled one side of my paper with the things that I think are important to say. Now you might have different words in your talk bubbles, and that's okay because we all have our own unique and special thoughts in our heads that are very important. Now, friends, it's time to make a self-portrait. And remember, a self-portrait is a picture that looks like you. A portrait is a photo or an image of someone else, and a self-portrait is a picture of you. So, let's try to make our portraits look like us today. There are so many different ways to make faces, and I'm going to give you a simple way, and then you will change it to make it look like you. Now, on the other half of our paper, we're going to start by making a nice big U shape for our heads for our self-portraits. Really make sure it's nice and big. You don't want it too itty bitty tiny. All right, then simple parts. Let's make a neck with 2 parallel lines. Curve it so that you have a neck of a t-shirt, and then create some curves on the left and the right for your shoulders and your shirt. Excellent. Now, we can all kind of start the same way, but from here on, we all are going to make different drawings because each one of you is unique and different. We might have different hairstyles on our self-portraits. We might have different eye and mouth and nose styles. It is entirely unique to you. If you wear your hair in a bun, go for it. If you wear your hair in braids, make that. If you wear glasses or you have crazy hair or curly hair, make it look like you. Here are some other examples. Maybe you wear your hair in buns a lot. Maybe you have straight hair or short hair. You can make your hair look like however your hair looks. Maybe take a quick second and run to the mirror and double check and see what your hair looks like. Once you have an idea of what your hair looks like, we're gonna add it to our portraits. So I'll leave these right here so that you can get an idea for your own face. Oh, I forgot my ears. Don't forget to add ear shapes, little C's on the sides. Now I need to put the inside of my hair. And boys and girls, my hair parts on one side and then it curves over and over again. Now your hair might not look like that. You might need to put your hair wiggly straight across or apart in the center, or maybe you have curly hair. So you can decide how to make your own self-portrait. Maybe your hair is jig-jaggy or it's all very straight. Each of us has to draw a different hairstyle. Once you have your hair drawn on, boys and girls, well, then it's time for some eyes, nose, and mouth. You can decide what kind of eyes you want to put on your self-portrait. To make it simple, I'm going to do a half of a football shape. That's the eyelid of my eye, and then I'm going to add my iris right in. Then I'm going to add a nose to myself. You can do it many different ways. If you look at these examples, you can do a L shape, you could do a D shape, you could even do a little upside down bump. It's up to you. Perfect. And then of course, let's put a great big smile or whatever kind of smirk or face you would like to have. I am a smiler, so I'm going to have a great big smile and put a row for teeth. Now, for there, that's the basics. I'm gonna make it look a little bit more like me now. Maybe I'll put some stripes to show that there are some pieces of hair there. I can put eyebrows. I could even draw great big earrings for myself. I love some earrings. Maybe you have freckles to put on. Maybe you have glasses that you want to wear. You could even put eyelashes if you want to. Boys and girls have eyelashes. And you could also make a fancy shirt if you would like to, with some cool patterns or designs or squiggles or whatever makes you happy. Since I'm Miss Morningstar, I'm going to put stars on my shirt. Awesome! There is my self-portrait. It looks just like me in a cool cartoony style. Ba-ba-ba. Great! Now, friends, if you didn't work with marker right off the bat and you worked with a pencil instead, you might want to take a second and outline your portrait in marker so it really stands out. Once it's all ready to go, let's cut our artwork out. You're going to cut around your self-portrait and around all of your talk bubbles. Remember, it helps to release your artwork from your paper before you cut it. So to help yourself with your talk bubbles, release them from your paper first, like that, and then cut them out. Let's go into hyperspeed, friends. Fantastic. Now it's time to assemble my artwork. On my colorful piece of paper, I have my talk bubbles and I have my self-portrait. I can make my paper go this way, long and skinny if I want to, or I could turn my artwork and make it go this way if I would like to. Make sure that your portrait goes at the bottom of the paper. You want the bottom of your body to line up with the bottom of the paper. That's the only important thing. And then from there, you can choose if you want it off to the side or in the middle, anywhere you want. You might want to take a second and play and make sure your talk bubbles fit so they look like they're coming from you. You want the little point to face your face. So this one, he's going the other direction. So I have to make sure that this one is on this side of my portrait. So take some time and make sure that all of your talk bubbles fit. You can even put them sideways a little bit if you want to. Cute! And look, some of my talk bubbles are going off the page, and that's okay. I think it looks kind of cool if my artwork extends from my paper, because my voice is so loud I can't be fit into one little piece of paper square. I have to go out and beyond, and you can too. Once you have your position of all of your talk bubbles and your portrait figured out, let's glue it down. You can use a glue stick or a glue bottle. If you're using a glue bottle, remember, hold the round part, twist the carrot at the top until you have a space. Once you have this space, check to make sure Mr. Glue Bottle can breathe. Oh yeah, he's breathing, and now I'm ready. We don't need a lot of glue on the back of our portraits. So all I'm going to do is do one outline line around the outside of my face, keeping the point of my glue bottle touching the paper. It's not up here gluing from above. I'm touching a paper, and look, there is space between the edge of my paper and my glue line. If I go too close, it might blob out the sides. Perfect. No need for any glue on the inside. That's not necessary. Then carefully pick it up with two hands, flip it over, and place it down. Make sure you press it, give it a massage so it really sticks. Now I'm gonna do all my talk bubbles. For these, because they're so small, I'm just gonna do 3 little dots. Dot, 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 not a lot. That's it. And then I'm gonna stick it down. Fantabulous. Last thing, press it down to make sure everything sticks. Totally cool. Now I have this awesome cartoon style self-portrait, but boys and girls, it's just pretty plain being black and white. Remember, you have your coloring supplies. So now take some time and add color. Any color you want. You could make your skin look like your skin tone, or you could make yourself rainbow. Wouldn't that be kind of cool? If you check out the artwork of our artist here, Audrey Pippins, you can see that sometimes she makes blue faces or green faces or purple faces. So you can make your face whatever color you want, or even rainbow, and use whatever coloring supplies you would like to. You can even color in your talk bubbles. Maybe you're doing it with crayons or markers, or if you used a crayon or a permanent marker, you could even paint them in today. So take some time and color in your awesome self-portrait to really make it pop. Ta-da! Here is my super awesome portrait, my self-portrait that shows what is important to me and what I would like to say. Now remember, boys and girls, each of you have a voice. Never be afraid to say how you feel and to stick up for what you believe. Hope you enjoyed making a Say Something self-portrait. Put it on display and show everyone you know what is important for you to say.